Good.
Okay, let's call call to order the January 27th, 2026 regular meeting of the High Point Regional High School Board of Education. I ask you all please stand for the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open Public Meetings Act statement. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted at the Augusta, Branchville, and Sussex post offices, and notice sent to the New Jersey Herald, the Sunday Herald, and the clerk of the boroughs of Branchville and Sussex, and the townships of Frankfort, Lafayette, and Wantage. Mission statement. High Point Regional High School, in partnership with staff, family, and community, is dedicated to the quest for individual excellence. By fostering high standards of achievement, we prepare students to become responsible and productive members of a diverse society. I'm going to ask for a roll call, please, in attendance.
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Ms. Longberg?
Here.
Ms. Orsi?
Here.
Ms. Diaz? Ms. Stackus?
Here.
Ms. Gall? Here. Mr. Van Stone?
Here.
Ms. Hill? Here. Ms. Wise? Mr. Dunn?
Here.
Dr. Rick?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. A motion will now be made. The High Point Regional High School Board of Education enter executive session to provide an update on legal, personnel, and negotiation items which are exempt from public participation pursuant to New Jersey Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act. Any discussions held by the board which need not remain confidential will be made public when appropriate. Minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. The board will reconvene in public session, in person and virtually at the conclusion of the executive session. It is not anticipated that any action will be taken. And for the benefit of the public, we expect to return approximately 7 p.m. So I will make that motion to enter executive session. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
58 at your house. You've got children fun. Make fun of Mark.
May I have a motion to return to public session, please?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have returned to public session. Normally we move on to approval of minutes and public comments, but we have a special presentation this evening. Ms. Valerie Dolan from the Savaccia is here to present a review of the June 30th, 2025 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. Is that still called the CAFR?
That is.
To the Board of Education. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Hope everyone stays nice and warm. A little chilly in here. Is that on purpose?
He's trying to change it.
To keep us moving quick. Like I said, once again, it's obviously I'm here to present the audit. We had been done honestly this year for a very long time, but the federal government shutdown actually delayed us for a very long time until I could issue it finally. Came this close to actually issuing a piece of the report without the other pieces. So we held it as long as we could, and lo and behold, right before Thanksgiving, the federal government released the last piece of information I needed and we could get the report out, which means you were filed statutorily on time by December 5th, which is a lovely thing. Wasn't sure if that was actually going to happen even when I met with finance earlier in the year. Just to give you a little bit of a refresher, there's actually two reports that we provide to you. The first one is our annual comprehensive financial report, which is the book. That is actually the large audit. It's actually broken into four main sections. There's an introductory section, just a small little section about the district, lots of financial information. In the middle section, then there's a very interesting section called the J's, or the statistical. That's 10 years comparative data. So that's 10 years comparative data, not just about the school district, it's about all four communities that sent to High Point, about the county itself. It's a lot of great information from a historical standpoint of 10 years. And then lastly, there's a single audit section, which is compliance with all of the grants. The second report I provide you is a small management's report. It's the second bound report. That's my report to the board of all of the things that we did and tested, and any comments and recommendations that we would have would be located within that report. That being said, it's a very big, what we refer to as the big fat blue book, the yearbook of all things. But I would tell you, out of this whole document, there's probably about 11 pages that's probably the most important. It kind of starts in the middle of the page. It starts on like page 89 and goes to about 100. It's your audit schedule C1. That audit schedule C1 is the budget. That's the real answers. It goes through all of the information. It shows you your introduced budget. It goes through any transfers, either any transfer on line items. It'll go through all of the revenues that have actually been realized against the budget. And it will show you any expenses and any unspent balances. When all is said and done, that gets you to what we refer to as your fund balance picture. Fund balance has a tendency to have many parts, but when I look at it from an overall standpoint, High Point was actually down from where I was when I was here last year, about $150,000. So you're sort of on the decline. As we do about 90 of these, this is what we've been seeing. This is the trend in school districts. They're obviously, the budgets are getting tighter. Each year, as their budgets are getting tighter, the excesses are getting smaller and smaller, and therefore less and less is available to circle into future years. That being said, you still have a healthy surplus, is what we would call it, of about $3.7 million. But that $3.7 million is earmarked in an assortment of areas. You have about $600,000 of encumbrances. Those are the purchases that were purchased by June 30th, for which they hadn't been completed and paid before the end of the year. You actually have money set aside in two reserves, a capital reserve and a maintenance reserve. Your maintenance reserve has about $125,000, which is actually down from where it was last year. Your capital reserve has about $966,000, which is actually up a little bit from where it was last year. Most of that upswing is about $100,000 that came over from the completion of the SBVER project and the unspent funds on that proceeds on that project that came back into the reserve. You're utilizing in your budget itself in 5.6 almost a little over $1 million. So a lot of that money is pushed forward into the budget that you're currently operating in now, which will leave you two pieces of information. But what I say is about the $500,000 of this whole budget that you have that the state allows you to hold is what they call free fund balance, undesignated fund balance. And then leaving you with about $500,000 to build your budget to start for next year. That's where you start to actually see the real decline. You were using $1 million last year. You're going to be using $500,000 this year to start. So as the budgets, and this is truly as budgets get tighter and tighter, less and less is available to go into subsequent years. So basically, you're budgeting and spending. That's what's happening. Fortunately, you're still generating enough to be able to put some money aside into some of these reserves, but it is going to get tighter and continue to get harder. We've seen a lot of districts all over the place that you've heard a lot of news, a lot of school districts not doing as well. Our answer to everyone is to say, keep an eye on the bottom line. Always watch your expenses. A lot of these districts that are getting into trouble lately that we've seen are spending above their needs. They're not really spending the way that their budgets are being adopted. So it's a very time of the year when we really say you gotta sharpen those pencils and really pay attention to what you're spending. Some other financial highlights: you did receive and spend about $825,000 of federal, state, and local grants. And you actually have two enterprise funds. One's the Transportation Enterprise Fund and the other one's the cafeteria. Overall, the two funds together pretty much stayed the same balance, but interestingly enough, the food service probably made about $60,000 and the transportation lost about $60,000 this year. So they netted themselves out, but in the end, transportation is starting to see a decline, and I really think that's because of the costs of transportation. They're just astronomical that districts are being faced with to deal with. As for my management report, I do want to say that last year's recommendations in the report were corrected, so I do not have any repeat findings. So both of those areas were resolved. This year, I do have 3 formal recommendations that will require corrective action. One of them is actually compliance was already done while we were here. Each March, you're required to submit down to the IRS what they call an e-cert form, which certifies the superintendent and business administrator salaries with the IRS. It never got filed. It was filed while we were here doing the audit, so compliance was done, but it was missed the March deadline. The second one comes in the area of grants and the collection of them. I know I was up here this time last year, we were worried and concerned about collecting those capital grants. You also have a lot of federal and state and local grants that's all on a reimbursement basis. So at the end of the year, you still were holding almost 58% of that grant money wasn't received. It wasn't being submitted timely. So we always recommend, the state will tell you they want you to do it every month. They'll say, do it quarterly. Whenever you're spending that money, it's your cash flow. You must ask them for it and they'll give you the reimbursement basis. And then the last one is in the area of the school store. I did have a recommendation on a few things left in previous years. This year, the only piece that we're really trying down to is depositing time. It's just, we have to come up with a system as to what you feel is acceptable. A lot of times we use this 48-hour rule, but it's really not a requirement for it to be 48 hours. So our recommendation is come up with some sort of policy. It should be twice a week, once by the end of the month. It's not a lot of money, but any money that's left undeposited to the bank just runs risk. And we never want to have any risk available if you can negate it by putting it into the bank. So what we spoke with is about coming up with a plan so that at least there's a policy that makes sense, whether it's a daily deposit or if it's on a Thursday. At least we know then what we can do is test to make sure that that policy implemented is being adhered to. All in all, otherwise it was a great, we do have one suggestion to management, which we always like to put in things that might be future. This one is actually an area of county standards. The standards can never leave me alone. They always want to change the way I report things. So there will be a new standard again next year that will go into the report. It will just be in the way that we disclose information in the report in that introductory section and how we disclose the enterprise funds. So those will be changed a little bit in the presentation, but we will work through the district to do that presentation. So any other questions? Otherwise, you're doing well and in good shape.
I heard.
Yep.
We had 800,000 that we received in federal.
Yes.
That's the extent of what we were expecting.
That's what you're expecting for those ESSERs and
Right.
all the titles. Yes, it's about 800,000.
Right. Yeah, there's no ability to apply for any of those any longer.
There's
so
no more money.
We got them while we.
You got them while they
could.
had them, and I think that's the other issue is a lot of districts had a lot of COVID funds that were here between all of the ESSERs and all of the pandemic funding, and all of it's gone. like most of the districts, that was completed and spent. Now the question comes is those things that we utilize those funds for, do we keep them in the budget and figure out a way to pay for them, or do we actually have to stop providing the things that we're providing with those funding because there's no longer federal funding? Any more questions?
And I'll say this because I know I'll ask it even though I know the answers. There was no debt service that we had to pay or that we had to do any study on because we've been fortunate enough not to have had.
Right, you have not had to do any debt. You've been fortunate enough that you've had enough money in your capital reserve set aside to fund capital without having to do a referendum and issue debt. But as the funds, this is the one area, like we said, we've been seeing, as those excesses are not generated, the reserves become less, which then could potentially put you at some other time down the line, anything major capital, you may or may not have the funding to utilize.
But the number that you stated was in capital reserve is sufficiently robust not to cause any concerns, correct?
It's all depending on projects and what you need to do in the long-range plan. If there's nothing major needed, then yes, if you have major renovations that need to be done or any type of project,
Yeah.
I think it's sufficient. It's just harder to replenish. The days of being able to put a lot of money aside in those reserves
And,
has to be given.
and that amount, well, I know this was an order for last year, but is that amount also after we had done the work up
Correct.
front?
Yep.
paving?
Right. So
Yeah.
I think the only thing that might not have been out of there is the parking lot paving.
No, it's my understanding that it was
I can't remember the time we were paving the parking lot.
fairly
Okay,
confident.
that's the only one I know of.
Notice
The
I
other
said
project that was
fairly.
recently done was paving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that may,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we needed.
That's what you needed it for, was for the paving of the lots, because I know they need to get done. Questions? Wonderful.
Anybody else?
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Okay. Actually, if I may, just before we go back to the agenda, I want to recognize that we are now a board of 10, even though we do have an absence tonight. The first time that this board has consisted of 10 members since it was organized in 1966. Reason being, one of our send receive districts, Montague specifically, has reached the level of 10% of our student population, which by statute allows them to have a member sitting on our board. So I'd like to welcome Kate Stack to our board as our Montague rep. Yeah, I mean, even numbers are usually not a great idea for board composition, but we're going to make it work well. So welcome, Caitlin. You get to do this, finally in public. Okay, so returning to the agenda, approval of minutes, we have a number of them. Regular meeting minutes from December 16th, 2025, executive session minutes from December 16th, 2025, our reorganization minutes from January 6th, 2026, and our special meeting minutes and executive session minutes of January 21st, 2026. I will make the motion to approve those minutes. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion, comments, or
There were,
clarifications?
in the special meeting minutes, I just scanned it before coming here, there were a few typos in the section of the public comments in the special meeting minutes. I think Seamus's name was misspelled.
We know who it was, though, right?
Yeah, we know who it was.
Take a look at those and give
Yeah.
them choice.
I don't think that prevents us from approving.
Oh,
That's
no,
my
no, nothing that would alter
corrections.
meaning.
Anyone else with comments, corrections? Okay. Just going to put this out there that you can vote yes on individual items. You don't have to abstain all of them if you happen to be present for some or none. So I guess we'll go to roll call.
Mr. Anderson?
I'll abstain on all 5.
Ms. Longberg?
Yes to all?
Ms. Orsi?
Yes to all.
Ms. Diaz?
Yes to all.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes to the 2 on the 21st, and abstain from the 16th to the 6th.
Ms. Gall?
Yes to all.
Mr. Van Stone?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes to the January meetings, abstain on the December meeting.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes to all. As well.
Passes.
Okay, this brings us to our first public comments of the session of the evening. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, we will open to public comments for agenda items only at this time. Each speaker should state his or her name and address. You will have 3 minutes to address the board, which will be timed by myself. We will limit this section to no longer than 45 minutes. Please be respectful and mindful that your comments are being recorded. And as always, we have the ability to address us here in person or virtually to our email address that is posted on that portal. Nothing there? Anyone in the room? Okay, may I have a motion to close public comments? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then moving on to presentations. Dr. Ripley, do you really want to?
I will read it, but it will take me, I'll go through it quickly because it is absolute, I think it is required. Whereas the New Jersey School Boards Association has declared January 2026 to be School Board Recognition Month, a time when all residents can acknowledge the contributions made by our local school board members. And whereas the High Point Regional High School Board of Education is one of 580 local school boards in New Jersey, which sets policies and oversees operations for public school districts. And whereas the High Point Regional High School Board of Education embraces the goal of high-quality education for all New Jersey public school students. And whereas New Jersey's local school boards help determine the educational goals for approximately 1.4 million children in pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. And whereas New Jersey's 5,000 local school board members who receive no remuneration for their services act as advocates for public school students as they work with administrators, teachers, and parents for the betterment of public education. And whereas school boards strive to provide the resources necessary to meet the needs of all students, including those with special needs. And whereas boards of education provide accountability to the public, they communicate the needs of the school district to the public, and they convey to school administrators the public's expectations for the schools. And whereas New Jersey can take pride in its schools, which rank among the nation's best in key achievement indicators, such as the National Assessment of Educational Progress Scores, and the preparation for college through advanced placement offerings and SAT assessments. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the High Point Regional High School Board of Education does hereby recognize the services of local school board members throughout New Jersey as we join communities statewide in observing January 2026 as School Board Recognition Month. And be it further resolved that the High Point Regional High School Board of Education urges all New Jersey citizens to work with their local boards of education and public school staffs toward the advancement of our children's education.
We don't have to accept that, do we? I mean, it's a little self-serving, right? So.
Give a roll call now,
No. Thank you. Next, we have our student council rep, George Oriana, Speaker of the House, will give us an update on the activities of student council.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to start off by saying that for this month of January, student council's theme word is self-discipline, to sort of relate that to the idea of the New Year's and New Year's resolutions and sticking to your New Year's resolutions. And for the executive student council, we are also doing the Matchmatics again for the 4th year, where students will go onto a SurveyMonkey link and take a lighthearted and fun personality survey that then matches them with other students in school who also take the survey. We will sell the results the day before Valentine's Day on 2/13 for just $1. And then for this Friday, 1:30, the chamber singers, as usual, will be singing the national anthem when we also have our marching band performing as well. And we will also, of course, announce the student athletes of the season. And then we will have 3 games, musical chairs and scavenger hunt, as we can all imagine how those look. And then a new game, Stack the Boxes, where volunteers from each class will have to stack 5 moving boxes without someone in a tower. And the winning team wins prizes. Apart from that, I believe that is all to announce from student council.
Anybody have any questions for Victoria? Thank you. And feel free to. Next I have on the agenda HPEA President Lisbeth Sunda, who would like to address the board and give us any updates.
Good evening. Not a whole lot, but for those of you I've yet to meet, so welcome to the board. My name is Elizabeth Sunda. I'm the HPA president. So I just wanted to reintroduce myself to those of you new to the board, so thank you. I represent the executive team as well as the faculty at large, and it's a privilege to serve in this honor, or enter this role. We are coming out of midterm week, which I think went really smoothly and successfully. We are grateful as a group of teachers for the recent storm to hold off till after midterms, so that way the students and staff can remain focused and uninterrupted, so that was kind of nice. As a team, we are still continuing to find tremendous value in being proactive. We've learned that the most effective way to address the challenges that we face is open communication, early and often, with our administration and within each other. This approach has allowed us to problem solve and to build a shared understanding amongst our staff. And the trust that we developed as a new executive team, along with our administrative partners, continues to grow, and we see this as a strong foundation moving forward as a High Point community. As always, please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns, and we value the open dialogue from our staff to you as we support our students here at High Point. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Principal's report, Mr. John Townsend.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing on this beautifully warm evening? 6 degrees coming in, so welcome to our, as Ms. said, welcome to our new board members. Looking forward to working with all of you in many capacities. As you can see, we have some beautiful pictures up there on the board. I want to start with that. And we have some honored guests here. So each year, for those who don't know, we have the opportunity, special opportunity to recognize what we call Governors and Educators of the Year, right? And also ESP of the Year, which is an Educational Support Professional of the Year. Every school district in the county gets that opportunity to nominate those individuals, and that comes through a large committee. It's done from our staff. Ms. Sarno, one of our assistant principals, is the one that kind of coordinates that and leads that and does a great job. And this evening we have Anthony Tokar and Mark Beltry here. I'm told I was going to embarrass him for a couple seconds, that's okay. And you see the picture up there that we have with the staff. We always like to surprise them. So the top picture is in Mr. Beltry's classroom. We literally stormed his classroom with flowers when they get there, and they're like, what is happening, what's going on? In the bottom picture, we pranked Anthony and made him come down to the main office. I think they said that he needed like some kind of big data issue going on in the main office, and he comes running down, and there we are in the hallway to surprise him. So I just want to say both Anthony and Mark are part of the backbone of what we do as a school district. Mark is a longtime special education math teacher here at Regional High School. He also is a longtime wrestling coach for many years as well. Anthony is also part of our IT team and data specialist that whenever we need something, we call Anthony and he figures it out. Don't know how he figures it out, but it happens and he ends up getting it done. These individuals are constant professionals. They demand the utmost respect from everybody quietly because they have to provide quiet leadership to our school district every single day. Mr. Beltry's been here for a couple years. I see him standing by his door every single class period, greeting his students every single day. Little things matter, they go a long way. He makes math come alive in his classroom, which is not always easy. Very, very practical. I'm sure he had some ideas as he was listening to the audit going through his head about how they could use, but I really appreciate the practicality, how to buy a car, how to build credit, how to apply for build a checkbook, all those things you hear in his class. Anthony is also one of our ice hockey coach, I feel like ice hockey coaches for a long time. He just came probably from ice hockey because his own kids play ice hockey as well. And they practice, as you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So we're very, very proud of both these individuals. It's an honor and a privilege to work and walk alongside them every single day. I just wanted to give them a big round of applause and thank you for what they do. We do, in the springtime, we get a chance to go to a nice county function. The county does that, you get to sit in a room full of educators with your families and friends. It's a really nice experience that we get to recognize all those individuals. So, Margaret, thank you for all you do, and I appreciate you very much. I'd also like to make sure we mention that we had our Pretty in Pink, which was the beginning of our Pretty in Pink, along with field hockey many years ago. So this is the 17th Pretty in Pink basketball game that took place on Saturday. We had Annex down here for a lot of games. I saw some of the individuals that were there as well. We started at 1 o'clock with the freshmen and went all the way through 6 o'clock was the last game. Both gyms were being utilized. We were up and down both places. It was a beautiful thing with the community. I want to make sure that you know that we were able to raise, we and the students, the players, the community, over $6,000 that were given to 2 families that were in need. We always look to try to find individuals that are in our community that are going through a medical or a challenge with cancer, and we have 2 individuals that are very, very difficult ones. With students here in the building, so it's a very, very hard situation, but both of those individuals were able to receive a small token to help them along their journey, which can be very, very long. So I want to make sure I say thank you to our girls basketball team. Most importantly, they're the ones, our seniors, they're playing over at Duke right now. They're the ones that really kind of spearheaded this and got it together. All of our parents assist with that as well. Our community members that continue to give day in and day out, no matter how many fundraisers there are, how many big games there are, they continue to give. And they continue to come to that. And you just watch the screen scroll through all the advertising for all the people that donated. It's a really great thing. It's a tribute to that community effort. Thank to our coaches, Coach Ruben, also Coach Montana, now Coach O'Grady, our new very name. That's all the work that they did behind the scenes as well. It really was a nice community effort. Mr. Dexter, also kudos to him. 17 years ago is when they initiated with one of his players who said, "Hey, Coach, I have an idea." And that's how this all started. Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, back in the day, 17 years ago, and here we are still. I believe the tally was over $350,000 in total. Somewhere around there, don't quote me exactly, but somewhere around there over the course of 17 years. That's a tremendous amount of money that the community sponsored for that. So thank you to the team for that. We also had a beautiful district music and art celebration night. For those that don't know what that is, that started, this is our 10th year actually, 10-year anniversary, is we invite all the district students up and they come, they perform music, band, and there's mixed choirs, there's mixed band, there's parts when it's just middle school students there, elementary school students, there's parts when it's everybody. There's a little bit treacherous because it's a full stage now. But it really is awesome to see how that in 10 years we went from very small, a couple risers, right, it was pretty much just our students and a couple others, to we had to have extra risers, and you literally can't see on the stage because there's so many band instruments. I don't know who's doing what, right? But everyone is able to come up, they'll do a little composition, and then everybody gets a chance to perform in front of a packed house auditorium. We're at full capacity on that night. It is a busy, busy night. And it really is cool for the parents to see the joy in their eyes as they sit there and they watch their students perform whatever capacity that may be. There's also a really cool note that many of the musical band directors and also choir directors that have come through that are now elementary middle school are High Point grads. So I counted 3 of them at least that were now serving in different districts along the way. So it's a pretty cool thing to see that passion of that music carry on and carry forward. So thank you to Dory Martin and James Slaney for their leadership and coordination on that. It really was a great night. We also had a busy January 8th grade open house. 8th grade open house, and we invite all our 8th graders and their parents here into our district, and we show this beautiful facility off and enjoy the night as well. We had about over 150 attendees there for that night, so it's a great night for us. I wanted to thank a couple of individuals, particularly Kristen Jackney, Dan Yardley, Danny's over there, Dory Martin, James Slaney, Kelly Smith, Jeremy Deeroff, Ben Campbell, Brooke Martin, Liz Sunda, and all our administrators for the hard work and the great presentations. We have tour stops. Teachers are in those areas presenting what they do in their classrooms and what that department does in their classrooms. There's music going on, the band's playing, there's a lot of things that are happening along the way. And then we have student leaders that are either peer leaders, peer counseling, as well as other clubs that help guide the tours along the way as well. And they give a lot of insightful information. As I was listening to the tours and kind of just running around, making sure everybody was going in the right direction, listening to the students having conversations with the parents was pretty cool. I caught a couple glimpses of that along the way. It was just neat to see them talk about their school and what it looked like through their eyes. So thank you for everybody's assistance with that, because that was a long night, but a great night overall. I know Mr. Kale's going to talk a little more about the supervisor visits down at Senate districts, but we do have scheduling happening soon for all of our Senate districts, 8th graders first, and then the rest of our 9th, 10th, 11th graders currently. So Mrs. Delaney is overseeing that with our guidance and CST team as well. That's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that happens. I know Dan and Anthony are also part of that behind-the-scenes work, and we have this beautiful master schedule that comes out at the end of the year. As the Sunday said, we just finished our midterm exams. We're thankful that we had no snow days for the midterm exams and had nothing to cancel. And last but not least, from my report, I just wanted to highlight that today, even though we had a closed snow day yesterday, we had a delayed opening today, we had planned for what we call wellness presentations at our students. And I'll give you a little background to this. In October, I was part of a group of principals from the NJAC. The NJAC is our overarching athletic conference. It's about 40 schools that are part of the NJAC. A small group of us helped and developed and organized an NJAC Wellness Summit that we did over at Redfield Lodge. This has been for our senior scholarship dinner. And we had about 400 students from all the NJAC schools there, and a couple of keynotes, and we had all breakout sessions, small group sessions, all around wellness. Could be physical wellness, could be mental wellness, could be a little bit of everything. Very, very well received. Our kids loved it. We took about 15, 16 kids over there. And then Ms. Pagan, one of our counselors, Mr. Nahan, one of our teachers, and also the teachers and health teachers, we said, how do we get this to go the next step? Right? It's always great to have these great things, these great summits, but what does it look like to take it to the next level? So we met with those students over the course of the next couple months, and we said, we'd really like you to see what this looks like for you. Can you look at something that would be helpful for High Point here? What would it look like through your eyes? So in a course of probably 6, 7, 8 meetings, that group went from about 15, 16, right, to about 10, and they developed their own presentations, their own lessons. And they gave those breakout sessions starting today to our phys ed teachers, our phys ed classes in 9th and 10th grade on their own. Set them up in the gym. They had screens, they had projectors. I was there, Mr. Pagano was there, Mr. Nahan was there just to help with logistics. But they taught the lesson in the breakout session. So it was a really cool circle. Tomorrow they'll finish, because again, the schedule happening yesterday and today. Tomorrow they'll finish those breakout sessions, but it's really well received. I just want to make sure I get a shout out to them, because it's a really great group. Going really kind of close, talking about a lot of things that can make High Point better, and they are definitely leaders in action. So Ethan Sprung, John McCarthy, Chase Cheevers, Peter LaChance, June Pecorello, Tori Myers, Sophia Lawrence, Lillian Doherty, Kate Fitzgerald, Isabella Fett, and Sarah Aquaswani were all students. Most of them 10th graders, 11th graders, a couple seniors in there as well, that gave presentations and gave breakout sessions. Some of the topics that they developed, they came up with: confidence and leadership, positive mindset, take a break from digital distractions. Really cool to see that. Having a positive outlook in life and also academics, and managing academic expectations from a senior who's living and going through it right now. So students learn best from each other. So I just want to make sure that I gave them a shout out, as well as Mrs. Pagan and Mr. Nahan for that. We don't know what's going to take next. They want to meet again right away, or after today, like, all right, when we meet next, we'll do before the market period. So they have ideas, which is really cool to see them drive the train. Switch over to athletics, Mr. Dunn, that's okay. Mr. Dexter gave me some good information to share. Katie Bruno was just recognized as a 2-time NJAC Bullet of the Week. Coach Perry passed it on. She has currently a 191.4 average. That's really good. She's listed as 13th in the state. So that's a pretty cool thing. This is their second time for that recognition. HWS, we talked about wrestling a little bit with Coach Beltry. The boys wrestling tournament was held in Phillipsburg on January 10th, and we had Jay Rupal in 2nd place and Carter German in 3rd place. The HWS girls wrestling tournament was held at High Point on January 4th. A great event that was. We had a great crowd. We had 2 champions, Ella Blow and Al Shangaris were 2 of our champions. In 4th place, Katie Booner and Gabby Villafano both took 4th place as well. We also had the HWS champion, Katie Bruno, for her bowling, was the HWS girls bowling champion, and Kelly Sutter finished 4th. That's a 2-time champion for Katie. It's a pretty prominent thing to be able to do. We also had competition cheerleader 2nd place, and traditional cheer 1st place in game day division at the PACON competitions, which all took place in the last couple weeks. And then some athletes of the week. Haley Seller for bowling, Addison Cabrera for swimming, Luke Tompkins for wrestling, and Katie Bruno for none other than bowling. So congratulations to all of them for doing great things along the way. Any questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Ms. Tommy, can we extend the same courtesy to John Bacon?
I already did, I told them it's huge.
They said they wanted to stay for Christmas.
They wanted to give a speech at the end.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Mr. Gann.
Yes. Congratulations to outstanding colleagues for their tremendous accomplishments in that recognition. Welcome to the second.
See you guys.
Congratulations to
Thank
the
you.
board on this recognition
Phone calls, buddy.
for your service. So class of 2030, it's pretty exciting that our 8th graders are going to be here. When they graduate, that would be, I think, 63 years the high school has been going, so that's pretty cool. Our 8th grade open house was awesome. It's such an honor to be in a position to brag about facilities, staffing, programs, etc. As Alan may mention, the following week, our administrators went down to the sending districts, the charter schools, the private schools, to talk to teachers and administrators about what their academic experience will be like when they come here next year. And those were great dialogue with the districts. Thank you to Mr. Yardley for his work on our new website. Right on the front page, you'll see their scheduling information. And if you click on that, there are customized sections specifically for parents and students of 8th graders so they can begin to prepare their curricular choices for next year. So we're really tailoring information to them, trying to bridge that gap and help with that transition. Then starting next week, our tremendous guidance counseling team goes to the schools. They also do go to the private schools, the charter schools, and they have individual appointments with students and their parents to make sure they build the most personalized schedule possible for their high school experience. So we're doing a lot to bridge the gap, a lot of visits, a lot of information. It's exciting. It is pretty neat when you see them on 8th grade open house because they are young and they change so much from 8th grade to 12th grade, and it's a privilege to be part of that exciting part of their life. Also exciting is one of the best and brightest that has ever done the job here at High Point, Mrs. Corey Loyola. I'd like to talk about two of her extremely noble accomplishments. This spring, let's make it three actually, this spring she'll be traveling to Romania as she is a Fulbright Fellow and will be going there on a teacher exchange program. The Fulbright program is one of the most prestigious academic awards in the world, and we're so proud that she is Fulbright. 24 years ago, New Jersey passed a law mandating that African American history be embraced, particularly in middle school and high school. Some districts look at mandates like this and they just check the box and they do the minimum. Our school, led by our history department and Corey Loyola, poured themselves into this mandate to make sure that African American history is authentically interwoven into American history. And she is a leader in that field. Last month, I invited Ms. Lowe to come to the county curriculum meeting because the Department of Ed reached out and said, your school is the only school in Sussex County to have a staff member participate in the Amistad Commission. This summer, there's the Summer Institute. Mrs. Loyola is a faculty member of that program. It's virtually free. It's approximately $100, really to just make sure that you follow through on your commitment. It's a tremendous program, and she is trying to lead more people from our county to attend that program. So we're very proud of her. And the American Exchange Program, and I know Ms. Diaz and Mr. Dunn were host families last year. It's an incredible program started by American historian David McCullough. His son founded the program. Steven Spielberg and other wealthy Americans contribute to it. The entire program is free for the young adults that participate. Now this June, 12 High Point graduates from this year's class will go all across the country and experience parts of the world completely different from High Point. And in exchange, our community will be enriched by having 12 recent graduates come to our community, and not just broaden their horizons, but broaden our horizons as the host community. So it's just a great program. If anyone is interested in hosting, we have more than enough applicants for the High Point students to go abroad or abroad the country, across the country. We do need a few more host families. Contact me directly or Mrs. Loyola directly, and we thank her for continuing to be really a leader in education. Any questions or comments on that? No? Okay, great. Last Monday, we had our January in-service program, and I want to thank Mr. Talmadge because the National Football League and the New York Jets chose as their charity a mental health program, and they partnered with the U.S. Center for Mental Health and Sport, founded and led by Dr. Margaret Domka. And Dr. Domka came to the NJAC program, how many schools, 37? 40 high schools, and presented, and we were the only one who said, we've got to have this person here, free. This is an expensive endeavor in most years. It fulfills a mandatory requirement for suicide prevention, but beyond that, it was a quality program that our staff was truly engaged in. You see her picture there. She's actually had been a World Cup official, World Cup soccer. So she's very accomplished, very poised, very humble, very articulate. Staff loved it. And I found it moving to sit in this room for 2 hours and to see our staff engaged. That's a long time, and that's a weighty topic. But there is no topic, I think, that would take greater precedent. So I'm proud of the fact that we brought in an outstanding facilitator and that every member of our staff engaged with that potentially life-saving training. So that was really a great thing. And that is that. Questions? Good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot. My apologies to Mr. Anderson. I haven't introduced him formally. This is his first public meeting. I gave recognition to our 10th member, but I want to formally welcome Mr. Anderson to our board as well. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, Lee.
I'll survive.
So, proceeding with action items then. Curriculum, instruction, and technology.
Sure. Okay, we have 8 items, I think. I'll be moving them all together. Okay. The first 4 are the faculty attendance rate, student attendance rate, suspension report, and the harassment, the HIP reports. Okay. Number 5 is field trips. This only attached. Number 6 is professional development activities, also the attached roster. Number 7 is the revised school calendar, and number 8 is the proposed dates for the extended school year for this coming summer. So I'm going to move that. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions or comments on any of this?
What's the graduation date?
I was going to say maybe there's going to be something about the calendar for.
Listen, that may change by the day, so right now it's a moving target. But I will say that, as in the past, we've done this many times, we likely will not go beyond a Friday because the community effectively, let's say it's the 19th, and Friday's the 19th, and I don't know what it is, we will likely take days off of spring break so as to ensure that the school year ends, so we do not go into the last few days of June, which are just not productive.
Okay, yes, I'm guessing we'll probably, if the weather stays the way it's been, we'll be having another vote on that, the same issue in the future. Okay, I guess we're ready for a roll call, please.
Mr. Van Stone,
Yes.
Ms. Orsi,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Longberg,
Yes.
Ms. Diaz,
Yes.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes.
Ms. Gall?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Passes.
Next up is personnel.
I will move 1 through 5 together. Number 1 is a recommendation by the superintendent of the board accepts the retirement notification from Caroline Bodnar-Kimball, English language arts teacher, effective July 1 this year. Number 2 is approving 4 substitutes as listed. Number 3 is approving the appointment of Kristen Gebert as child study team administrative assistant. Number 4 is approving an extended medical leave. Number 5 is approving a maternity and child care leave. Seeking a second.
Second?
Any questions or comments?
I would like to congratulate Ms. Bodnar-Kimball on a long, distinguished career at High Point, in which she was a deeply respected member of the faculty and had a long and effective career impacting the community and children of this community who are better today for her having been here. So congratulations on your retirement.
Congratulations.
Roll call?
Ms. Orsi?
Yes.
Mr. Van Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Diaz?
Yes.
Ms. Gall?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes.
Ms. Lundberg?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Passes.
Under extracurricular, I'll move the 2 items there. One is a recommendation to approve an overnight trip for the competing members of the girls wrestling team to attend the NJSIAA Individual Wrestling Championships to be held in Atlantic City from March 11th through 14th. Wrestlers qualify and make it to the finals. 4 hotel rooms will be needed. And item 2 is a recommendation to approve the following volunteers for the spring musical pending background check confirmation from the Director of Safety and Security, and there's a number of names there listed. So I'll make that motion on 1 and 2. May I have a second?
Second.
Any comments, discussion?
We just want to reach out and we want to make sure that we thank those who are volunteering. This degree of participation just demonstrates the commitment by the community that we want to be the hub of the community, and their participation, their volunteering enriches our students' experience, so thank you.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Diaz?
Yes.
Ms. Gall?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Van Stone?
Yes.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes.
Ms. Orsi?
Yes.
Ms. Lundberg?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, we have no action items under policy, negotiations, or buildings and grounds. So moving on to finance, I'd like to move items 1 through 8 together. One is a recommendation to accept the report of the Board Secretary Business Administrator for December 2025. Item 2 is a recommendation to accept the report of the Treasurer for the same month. Item 3 is recommendation to approve the reported transfers and minimum expense transfer report for the same month. Item 4 is a recommendation to approve payment for the attached schedule of audited bills dated January 27th, 2026. Item 5 is a recommendation to accept the adult education agency account, athletic account, cafeteria account, construction account, principals, petty cash account, scholarship account, school store, and student activities reconciliations for the month of December 2025. Item 6 is a recommendation to increase the substitute bus driver rate to $27 per hour effective immediately. Item 7 is a recommendation to approve Health Express New Jersey as the student drug and alcohol testing facility for the 2025-2026 school year. Item 8 is a recommendation to approve voiding an attached list of outstanding checks in the cafeteria account and moving monies back to that account. So I make that motion 1 through 8. May I please have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions on any of those?
Ms. Diaz?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Longbird?
Yes.
Ms. Orsi?
Yes.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes.
Mr. Van Stone?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Gall?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Passes.
I'd like to move 9 alone. 9 is a recommendation that the Board of Education acknowledges and gratefully accepts a donation of $20,000 from Dr. Frank A. Cordasco to establish a $1,000 annual social studies scholarship to be called the Frank A. Cordasco Class of 1975 Social Studies Scholarship. I make that motion. May I have a second? Any discussion? Dr. Ripley, yeah, do you have any background on Dr. Cordasco, or I can?
Do either of you gentlemen have any background that you'd like to please give us?
Yes, Dr. Cordasco was a 1975 graduate, and they had their reading year at the cafeteria, actually, about 35 of them, and they stayed for the football game. So in that conversation, I went and talked to the group of them, and we had some laughs about where things were back in the old days and where things are now. And Dr. Cordasco said, my name is Frank, I'd like to talk to you a little bit later on about some things we want to continue. I said, that sounds great. Talked about the football game a little bit, exchanged contact information, and I followed up with him. He's so proud of this institution, this facility, that he wanted to develop a scholarship. I said, that's awesome. We have many scholarships come in. I was astounded when he said that he wanted to establish a $20,000 fund for his family, and he wanted to be given to a social studies candidate. And I thought it was intriguing, being that he's a world-renowned, many articles written, research-wise, well-renowned surgeon in New York City. And I said, well, what's the background to that? Why social studies? And he said, because it was my favorite class when I was here at High Point. Once again, it goes to show and demonstrate that passion, and Mr. Campbell talks all the time, about that well-rounded, all-around student. He's obviously a STEM person because he's having a pretty good career as a surgeon in New York City and doing some great things in the medical field, but yet social studies was his favorite class, and he has a passion for that. So he wanted the scholarship to be developed towards somebody that has civic-minded, high academic standards, and that is going to be chosen each year by High Point staff, and we're very proud of that opportunity to be able to do that. And he's just very happy to be able to give back to High Point many years ago. So that's a little nutshell version of Dr. Cordasco. We're very appreciative of him.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I happened to find some reference online, and there were like 2 pages of board certifications for this gentleman,
Yeah, it's
and
great
another page and a half of published, papers.
Yes.
Incredible, and he started here.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Cordasco. Hope you're listening.
Thank you.
I'll take a roll call, please.
Ms. Longbird?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Orsi?
Yes.
Ms. Diaz?
Yes.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes.
Ms. Gall?
Yes.
Mr. Van Stone?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Passes.
I'd like to move the remaining items with the exception of 11, which we are going to strike from the agenda. We received some recent information on that, which will cause that one to go back to committee, I believe, or renegotiated the item for the, we're striking. Sure. Right? So we're going to move 10, 12, 13, and 14. 10 is a recommendation that the board authorizes the school business administrator to execute and submit a letter of interest to Schneider Electric to conduct a preliminary energy savings improvement program, ESIP, business case analysis. Item 12 is a recommendation to acknowledge and gratefully accept the donations from the following individuals who will use their remaining lunch balances to offset the negative lunch balances of families in need within our community. Item 13 is a recommendation to authorize the execution of the following tuition contracts between High Point as a sending district and the district's related information receiving. And item 14 is a recommendation to authorize and execute the following tuition contracts between High Point as a receiving district and the following districts and related information that's sent. So I'll make that motion on those items. May I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or discussion? Thank you I mean, it may not be a large number that is captured in that offsetting donations, but what a great idea. Thank you, Ms. Polish.
Is there a large amount of students with outstanding balances for lunch?
Outstanding negative balances?
That owe money, yes. Because I know it's becoming a prevalent issue in many school districts. Is there any plan in place, thoughts to?
So far, we have not. We do our best to try to recoup that money and notify the parents and speak with the families as frequently as possible. However, in the end, we have not become a collection agency, so we've written it off as a loss. That's our practice heretofore. That would be the plan moving forward, but I probably just said that to the whole world who's saying, oh, cool. So maybe we'll change that.
I did, there is an organization, I will look up and try to get the name. There is an organization that is funding on an application basis to help relieve schools who are having this issue. I'll look for it again and pass it on.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful.
Okay.
Very thoughtful. Thank you.
No other comments?
Ms. Diaz?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Orsi?
Yes.
Ms. Longberg?
Yes.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes.
Ms. Gall?
Yes.
Mr. Van Stone?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Passes.
Ms. Wise is not here this evening, who would be normally handling transportation. Is anybody from the transportation who would like to run us through those items?
I don't know if I am.
You can do it.
I'll go, unless you want Ms. Diaz?
I'll try. I don't know if, I think I'm, that's the new committee.
It's really exciting.
Okay, so we will be moving items 1 through 10 under transportation. Item 1 is for shared costs for area band rehearsal at Mount Olive High School. Item number 2 is a joint transportation agreement for, the first one was, the first one's with Frankfurt, the second one is Sussex Wantage to go to the Mount Olive High School for area band. The third one is a quoted contract for the EDT seminar and capstones at Bernard's High School. Number 4 is for the debate team to attend the tournament at Roxbury High School. 5 is a quoted contract for EDT seminar and capstone to go to Bloomfield High School. 6 is a quoted contract for the High Point Chorus to go to Kinnelon High School. 7, a joint transportation agreement with Walkill Valley for the swim team at the Morristown Baird High School. I'm guessing that's a competition. 8, joint transportation agreement with Kittatinny for High Point Kittatinny students to go to the College of New Jersey. 9, joint transportation agreement with Vernon for the students to attend, what's TSA?
Technology Students of America.
Thank you. At the College of New Jersey. And number 10 is an agreement with between the Southern Bergen Joint Commission and High Point Regional High School for coordinated pupil transportation services. I move all 10.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Any comments or
Oh,
questions?
any comments, sorry.
Gotta give that up.
Sorry.
If there aren't any.
Okay, Ms. Diaz?
Yes.
Mr. Van Stone?
Yes.
Ms. Stackus?
Yes.
Ms. Wise? Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Gall,
Yes.
Ms. Orsi,
Yes.
Ms. Longberg,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, we have no correspondence. Miscellaneous, our standing item on board mandated training, I think we were apprised of already. So our second public comment section of the evening, same rules apply. I don't see anybody in the room. Do we have any virtual comments? No comments being submitted to our virtual platform, so may I have a motion to close public comments?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any non-committee board member reports or comments at this time? I have none. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
In a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourned.
Sorry, he was watching. He left and he watched.